Hi, I'm psychic astrologer Rita Ann Freeman. I had some requests to go over some of the astrological terminology that's being used by other astrologers around the net and uh, confusing people. So what I'm going to do is just explain some basics to you. Now, many of you have seen a chart. The zodiac works on this is a linear map of a three-dimensional configuration out in the solar system. A person's chart is a flat linear representation of a multi-dimensional disbursement at the exact date, time, and place of their birth. We take those 3D positions and put them down on paper. And when we analyze both the positions of the planets within your particular natal chart, which is your birth time, frozen in time and put on paper, and when we look at where the planets are traveling right now around the sun and analyze them for what to expect out of the future, both as they apply to your individual natal chart and as they apply to, for example, the United States, or my particular birth chart, which is different than your particular birth chart. Where the transiting planets are might set off different things for you than it does for me, and it certainly will for person C. So Dick Weber asked if I would please expound on some of the terminologies. I shy away usually from such flowery explanations. I'm a pretty down-to-earth kind of an astrologer. I don't do the moon is trine and Saturn is aspecting a square and blah, 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 blah. Because people don't follow it. They don't know what that means. And so it's all just fluff. But I will be happy to explain some of the astrological terminologies. Now, I showed you the empty chart. This is just an empty chart with the 12 houses. This is what a chart looks like. Okay, it is not a dandy representation, but I had to make one really heavy and simple that would show up on this camera. So now, the trine. Okay, trine is an aspect that relates to a triangular view. Okay, so this is the fire signs. The first house is Aries, and the fifth is Leo, and the ninth is Sagittarius. A trine is anything that's triangularly aspected to another. Okay, and here are the earth signs, and they are trine to each other: Taurus to Virgo to Capricorn. Same is true of the air signs. Okay, Gemini to Libra, it's backwards in the camera, to Aquarius. Last but certainly not least, the water signs are all trine to each other: Cancer to Scorpio to Pisces. And so that trine aspect can happen in any house. But when you have a planetary position in a house, it will trine another house, okay, or trine that aspect. That is the degree of the aspect when one position is in a specific angular relationship to another. And that's generally, a trine is generally considered a positive aspect. Okay, so this is what a trine would be. You could draw this trine in any setup, the first or go around this way. Okay, it doesn't change. It stays a triangle. And that is generally, whether it's between planets in transit, like where they are right now, the sun trining Venus while they're moving, or whether it's the moving sun trining your natal Venus position. So it can be planets that are moving, or it can be planets within your chart, or it can be planets that are moving as they relate to your chart. I know it all sounds terribly confusing, but a trine doesn't change. A trine is a triangular relationship between planets. A square, and many of you have heard of that, is more of a negative, and it doesn't matter again which house it's in, okay? But that's when a position aspects one, at a 45-degree angle, and then another at another. And this would be a grand square. If you had something here, squaring something here, also squaring something here, also squaring something here. What a night which squares here. So well, what a nightmare that would be, but there are people who have them. Have to overcome them. So this is considered challenging, not necessarily bad, end quote, but challenging. Okay. And another aspect I'd like to point out to you is called the direct opposition, when something is directly opposite something else. Whether that, again, is in your natal chart, you were born with the moon in this house, and straight across from it would be, a planet in this house. That would be called a direct opposition. Those are the most challenging, when something stands in opposition to something else. I mean, have you ever been chest to chest with somebody, and it's called a face-off, your sternum to sternum, and that's that's a butting, okay? And so while compatibility-wise, Aries across from Libra is considered its most complementary sign, when things are positioned directly opposite things, that's not. Okay, so to have the sun in Aries and the moon in Libra, okay, is a direct opposition, and that happens every time there's a full moon, because the moon is always and only full when it's in a sign directly opposite whatever sign the sun is in. The sun is in Sagittarius right now today, okay, and so the full moon, which by the way was yesterday, and lunar eclipse on the 28th, would be full in Gemini, because Gemini is across from Sagittarius. So, and this can be between planets in your natal chart. It can be between a position in your natal chart and a transiting planet. Okay, or it can be between transiting planets as they're going around the sun out there. And so the full moon, the moon in Gemini across from the sun in Sagittarius, is an opposition that hits all of us. It simply hits in a different place in your chart than it might hit in my chart. And so it sets off different things. And then you may have different positions in your natal chart than I have. So perhaps that opposition of the sun in Sagittarius and the moon full in Gemini did not, nothing in my chart, whereas it just kicked butt in yours because of the natal positions you had in that, involved in that aspect. So that's what interpretation is all about. That's why you contact an astrologer, because no two people are ever the same. Everyone's natal chart is uniquely different, and it has different considerations. No two positions are ever reproduced in 26,000 years in this solar system alone. Taking into consideration, even if someone were born at the exact same moment that you were in the exact same hospital, they were taken home and raised by two different signs in two different environments, possibly than your parents were. And even in the case of identical twins, okay, we find similarities, but there are often differences, even if the subtle nuance is only because they were separated by 3 or 4 minutes of time. 4 minutes is the break. 4 minutes is when everything can change in a natal chart. It changes every 4 minutes. So if you and your identical twin were born more than 4 minutes apart, for each 4-minute increment, everything changed to heck and back, okay? Now that's a little quick down and dirty about the aspects, and I hope I didn't confuse any of you. I will be going broadcast live very soon, so you'll be able to call in and ask me questions free. I hope that I did help to inform you or clear up something. Please email me at ritaann@new.rr.com if you'd like me to address any other questions, or post your question free on the website. There is a place in the back of the website where you can ask Rita Ann questions absolutely free. They'll be posted. Also, if you look over there, you can sign up and follow me. So all you have to do is put in your email address and click the button that says follow me, and you'll receive notifications when anything new is put on this website. And then you can log on and watch it for free. Do me a favor, tell somebody, anybody, about the Voice of Astrology today. We give out information for free, and we like to do it well. Thank you so much for watching. Bye-bye now.